Hello there, Gemini, and welcome to your September forecast. I hope everyone is doing great. I can't believe we're actually almost at the end of the year, right? We're into almost the last quarter, about 1 month away from that. And for you, this really is a great opportunity. It's a chance for you to wrap things up. And in a moment here, I'm going to get into your channeled information because that leads right into that. Before I get started, though, I'd like to just say thank you. Thanks for all the support as I moved between the different formats. As you know, I'm sticking with this one. And bigger thanks to all of you that have been really kind with liking, subscribing, and especially for those of you that decided to donate. I can't tell you how much that helps. It's going to help with some of the video development that I plan to do over the next few months, so I appreciate that. If you would like to become a patron, there's a link below. You can go to my website, click on Patreon. You can also go directly to that. I'll put that in the lower third so you can find out how to do that. As little as $1, it makes a big difference, so thank you. Let's get into the channeled information, which I was just alluding to. Now, like I said, every month I like to select a deck of cards to use for you, and I've done that. And then as I meditate over that deck, I start to get imagery and words or sounds, and as I was writing this month, here's what came through for you. First of all, image-wise, I literally kind of saw you tying up a string or some sort of a loose end, and that was what eventually kind of came through in words. Close up all loose ends this month so that you can allow for other doors and other opportunities to present themselves. What this boils down to really is commitment, committing to yourself to see something through to fruition. So it could be as small as following up on a promise. If you said you were going to check in with someone and you haven't, or you were going to do something and then get back to them, this is your chance to do it and just get that sort of weight off your shoulders. It could also be something that you've been wanting to do, but you're either afraid or you've been procrastinating. So maybe you're like 1 credit hour away from finishing a degree. This is the time to research how to get that final credit done so that you can feel like you're okay and you've gotten rid of that obligation or that feeling like, oh, if I only did this, then I would be all right. So for some of you, this could also just simply be a way of living or approaching life in a different manner, deciding to eat healthier, exercise, whatever. So I feel like there's just something hanging over some of you this month that it's not difficult. It's something small, or it just involves a follow-up or picking up the phone. I'm encouraging you to do that because the second image that I got was a door opening. So once you finish this, the tension sort of releases then, and all of a sudden, a new opportunity is going to present itself. And you're going to feel ready for it. You're going to embrace that. So let go, follow up on something, and in doing that, it opens up new opportunities for you, which I think is exciting. Let's now take a look at the cards and see what additional insights they bring for you this month. At this point, I normally like to remain quiet. Let me just, before I shuffle this, I'll let you know how I organize it. We're going to pull a Celtic cross here in just a moment, plus a catalyst card, which will help tie everything together. And then I expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. As I said, at this point, I remain quiet. I just want to see what's coming through for you. Interesting. Let's go ahead and look at the catalyst card and see if it can help you figure out how to manage this or in some cases here, neutralize. Okay, so we have enlightenment. Let's talk first about the catalyst. So with respect to enlightenment, this is all about really researching things for those of you that are looking for answers but may not have it. For the rest of you, this also might be kind of deciding that you need more in your life, that perhaps you have like a corporate job or you have some sort of outwardly looking success, something that looks successful to others in your life. But inward, you're sort of feeling like you're looking for something more. So this card is encouraging you to go down that path, whatever it is. If you want to develop more spiritually, great. If you wanted to, I mentioned education. This is something that I've seen thematically popping up in different signs this month. It's a good time to just sort of do research and something for self-discovery. Whatever it is, as long as it's expanding your heart and your mind, it's the right thing. It doesn't have to have some sort of letter after it, like a master's degree or PhD. It could just be deciding to read up on something, to learn about something, or to understand yourself, or it could be just a relationship, trying to figure out how to be better in a relationship. Whatever it is, though, there is this sense of discovery, knowledge gaining, and a feeling of this was the right thing, this is good. So follow your heart on that, and definitely feel open to exploring new things. As I pulled all of the cards, I got another sort of mental download. That's when you heard me say interesting, especially when I saw the Three of Swords. Personality conflicts are going to be something you're going to have to be very careful of. I see a lot of personalities popping up in the cards, and I also think that one thing that's going to be difficult this month is how to navigate and make sure that the other thing that I'm getting is like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Like there's too many voices coming through. So for those of you that might be trying to work through a really difficult decision, making sure that you allow each voice to be heard, but not all at once. And there's going to be a need for some of you to either take like a leadership role or to eventually make sure that one person doesn't overpower things. So take that as you will, but that was an additional thing that I got as I was pulling the cards. Let's look at each one by one. And don't worry, at the end I pull the camera down and you can look at everything. So you get a chance to look at all the cards and their placement. But I like to focus first on the messages. All right, the center card. We have the King of Pentacles. He was reversed. And the interesting thing with some of you this month, you might have a person in your life. It could be an earth sign. It could also just be someone who really focuses a lot on their own energy. And this could be a drain for some of you. You want to be careful if this person's in your life. Now, the flip side of this coin, no pun intended since this is the King of Coins, is basically for you to focus on working on your own issues. And on some levels, to not bring that into everybody else's energy. So I think if we take this plus, if I can pull this card up here, plus the center card, that's really what we're talking about. Self-discovery, self-understanding, getting yourself to a place where you feel good, you feel confident. And once you do that, magically things start to work out. And some of the conflict around you, you know how to handle it because you understand what you need to do. As I look at deep past and energy that is sort of helping you and in some cases hindering you, we have the Emperor card. This is a strong, very strong card to come through, but personality-wise, this usually shows a need to take control. And that's why I said some of you are going to be either sitting in that position where there'll be a lot of personalities in the room. It could be in your family, it could be in a business sort of situation or a social setting. Whatever it is, though, I just see a needing for everybody to sort of get attention or be heard. So in this situation, make sure you hold your own. The other thing with this is to trust your experience. I like that I see this in deep past. It shows me typically life experience that is going to help color your future experiences and help you understand how to make better decisions. And that's a good thing ultimately. So don't second guess yourself. It looks like you have some keen insights. Now, over across the center here, we have the King of Wands. So we have this developmental card in the center, King of Pentacles, and then we have the King of Wands over top of it, which is showing to really think things through, and that a lot of you may have to find ways to either work around your own tendency to be stubborn or to overthink, or others in your life. So acknowledging what you're hearing and then finding a way to sort of let other people know this may not be easy to do, but let's try this, let's give it a chance, and sort of letting them know that you're along for the ride and that you're also experiencing the same thing that they are. As far as looking at, for those of you that are kind of entrepreneurs or retired, this is a discovery month. Some of you might be kind of holding back on something because you have this big idea, and I think that if that's the case, you really want to focus on making sure that you've worked out all the legal components of it. But we talked about a lot of personalities. Now for the interesting pieces here. I'm actually going to turn the camera down for just a second so you can see some of these. So we have what I see as couple cards. When I see two of the same suit, or if there's like a magician and high priestess, or in this case, the emperor and the empress, to me that shows a couple. And I see for some of you, there might be a core relationship that is at odds. So we have this Empress card reversed in the ego position, which can show a feeling or a concern of being manipulated, or feeling like someone knows more or has been concealing certain things. So one of the key things you want to focus on this month, especially for those of you that are in either a new relationship or a long-term relationship, just basically love relationships, transparency. I would say this is also key with any sort of intimate relationship in your life, just a best friend or a sibling. You just want to make sure if there's something that is wrong, that you face these issues rather than sweeping them under the rug. The other piece that I get with this is really to focus on balancing out control issues. And if there is someone in your life that is trying to tell you what to do, or again, is being tricky or behind the scenes, a lot of times, again, I would associate what I said before solely with the High Priestess, but since I see both the Empress and the High Priestess, I'm seeing elements of the two combined there. Anyway, you just want to be careful because I do see some trickiness behind the scenes this month, and you want to focus on modeling the behavior that you want, which is straightforward, clear, and transparent. Let's look at what's going on. There's a lot of swords cards here, which shows that there's potential for conflict, and many of you are sort of dealing with internal issues. The internal issues come up first. We have the 10 of Swords in the recent past. For some of you, this indicates a recent argument or disagreement and difficulty in overcoming sort of the feelings of sadness, of disappointment. Some of you, this could also indicate an acute pain in your body, which is also sort of distracting. It might even be kind of manifesting itself in sort of mental cloudiness. And so the first thing that's important for you is to take time for healing. And even if you don't have any of these symptoms, this can be a warning sign that your body's sort of working itself to a point of exhaustion, or your mind as well. And so balance is the first and I would say most important thing that you need to focus on this month. It ends up being the outcome card too, and we'll get to that in a second. But balance out your energy, your commitments, and make sure that people aren't stepping, I guess, in your sort of comfort zone when it comes to that. And I guess a better way to put this is it's not just about limits, it's about straightforward communication and making sure that people respect your voice too. And it's easier said than done. And the flip side of this for some of you is to make sure that you do the same for others, because that King of Coins card was in the middle reverse. So really focusing on making sure that other people feel appreciated, and it's not always a one-sided thing. So there's work this month when it comes to relationships. The Rest card is your crowning card here, the Four of Swords. Four of Swords means take it easy. And so even if you're not feeling this sort of symptoms that I talked about, rest is going to help you. It's going to help you stay healthier longer. You're also going to get keen insights and ideas from that. We talked about the King of Wands at the center. So for those of you that are just feeling like there's a surge of creativity, make sure you're meditating, make sure you're taking care of yourself, make sure you're not burning the candle at both ends. Okay, now for the interesting thing. We talked about that core relationship and that transparency was a key issue with it. For some of you, there's going to be an improvement going from this place of feeling like I can't handle it to, all right, we've had a difficult conversation and now I'm going to either forgive or forget. I see you at a crossroads this month. We have the Three of Swords in reverse and 10 of Swords and 3 of Swords. They're pretty binary cards for me. The reversals on this is showing a need, a desire, a want for you to move past the pain of what's happened before. And for those of you that just might be dissatisfied with life in general, this is a decision, I'm going to make a change. And that could be deciding, like I said, to go back to school, to get training, to try something new. To really focus again on your own needs right now, which it's okay sometimes to be sort of nurturing to yourself. And I really think that's what the Enlightenment card is trying to get you to see. As we look at your environment, you're shifting from the Three of Swords right now into this feeling that, okay, I'm looking forward to something now in the future. So I talked in the beginning about tying up loose ends. For some of you, this could be forgiveness. This could also be about holding someone to be accountable. This could simply be to take care of yourself. It could be a divorce. Because your outcome card here, we have justice. It's upright, which means there's a decision that you get to make, and it's not one that necessarily is made against you or that you have to sort of make against someone else. It happens when you're weighing all of the odds and you decide to yourself, okay, I see it from all angles now, and I think this is the best way to move forward. So for each of you, that's going to be a different sort of thing, but I do see a likelihood for many of you to decide to walk away. walk away from a person or an experience in your life. It might be a job, it might be a living situation. Whatever it is, it feels like it's played its course and you're ready for something much more satisfying. And that was the door opening that I saw. So tying up one loose end, allowing for something better. And that's the dreamy quality that we see here in the Three of Wands. And that's really where I want you to focus your energy. Dreaming about what you can do, deciding to take action on that, and believing in the hope and an opportunity of the future rather than some of the stuff that has gone on that might have brought you to a place where you're not as happy or not as satisfied. As we look at hopes, fears, desired action, we have the High Priestess here, which is all about manifestation. And so with the Empress in reverse there and now the High Priestess here, there's a lot of divine feminine energy, which can be used for productivity, for development. And I think this is the sort of silver lining to what the future holds for you. If you decide to really embrace your creativity, then, and I see moving really away from, for many of you, complex or convoluted relationships that weren't working and focusing instead on reciprocal relationships, things that are positive, you're going to have this boon in energy that will allow you to start to manifest and do what you want to do. And ultimately, the end of the month shows this new sense of balance in your life. The card is Justice, but it might as well be called balance in this. There could be a strong Libra that's coming through for some of you as well. You could also just be sort of leaning on the qualities of thought that come through that are inherent with your sign. So either way, I get a very airy quality with this, and I feel like the end of the month, you're feeling clarity in your thoughts, balance, an understanding of what's important. And really that should be sort of the guiding force this month is what exactly is my goal, my point? What am I trying to accomplish? How can I start to look at all the situations in my life and think, is this actually bringing me further towards this, or is it pulling me off that path? I think as you look at this, that's going to be much easier for you. And I want you to give yourself a little bit of time. There's sort of like an incubation period with this, 6 to 8 months. And you see a couple of seasons here. So for those of you that are ready for a change, for the better, this is just going to remind you that it's possible, it's within reach. In fact, it's even happening already, but you need to give yourself a little over half a year to really reap the rewards of all of the work that you're doing on yourself and also to kind of let the stuff go. So by and large, a pretty good assembly of cards and messages this month, but a need to sort of work through some difficult baggage first. But I love that we're ending on 3 really bright cards. Opportunity in the future. The ability to start to manifest when you let go of some of these things that have been weighing you down. A sense of balance and clarity, I think, is really what I was trying to get at. Mental clarity and mental balance here. All right, so let's go ahead and expand the forecast. We'll come back to this at the end, and I'm sure we'll have some new insights. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny next. All right, let's begin with your health card. Health includes mind, body, and spirit. We'll give this a shuffle and see what the message is in respect to that area. So, not surprisingly, we have a rebirth card here. The reversal on this, not as important because it is just speaking to the overall ability for you to embrace this, but I will mention that some of you may be holding back and not letting go or not sort of allowing for this sort of healing to happen that is inherent with this death and rebirth card. But I think there's a very nice sort of connection between the rebirth card and the justice card. And this is going to allow you to feel this sense of ease, openness. Again, I get this light and airy feeling towards the end of the month, which is great. I feel like you're going to be able to work through this. This is specifically, let's cover this. This is in your health area. So what does this mean for health? For me, rebirth. If there's something going wrong in your body, this, for some of you, might mean sort of like a replacement. Maybe it's a hip replacement or putting in a new tooth, a cap, or one of the implant tooth or something like that. It's not just taking the old one. It's actually like replacing it with something new. So for those of you that might be suffering from something in the body, there might be a need to augment it with something synthetic or something brand new, or to reset something. So if there was something that was, maybe you have a broken finger or something that was never fixed, this is a chance to reset it. The other thing is it's just simply a chance to reimagine and to break or make new cycles. And a lot of times we might see that with like the Eight of Cups or something, but in this case, it's much more specific. You really want to start something new and come through this feeling better. We can't always change what's happened in our life. A lot of times, we might be unhappy with how things have turned out or why certain things have kind of ended up the way they have. But what really is important is what we do with all of that in the future, like now and in the future. We can embrace it and learn from it and then think, I still have all of these other things to be grateful for, or we can focus on something that didn't work the way we want. This card is encouraging you to take a leap of faith, trust yourself, and embrace the possibilities, try new things, okay? But I think for a lot of you, there might be a need to sort of to look at things from a different perspective when it comes to your overall health and to try something different. So take a risk, take a chance, and see if that doesn't make you feel better. And of course, for all of these things, if you're going to make a change, you should do that if it feels right. And if you have questions, you work with your doctor on that. But I think that it's always good, even for those of you that exercise, you know this, your body gets bored. We get tired of routines. We need to try new things. So vary your diet, vary your exercise routine, see if this works for you. And for those of you that might be trying to heal or to work through something, it's about what's possible and what the future holds, not what you were in the past. So it's letting go of the past really is part of the health message for this month. Let's look now at wealth. Wealth includes not just money, but also opportunities, and I would say how you feel about yourself, because I repeat this as much as possible because I want it to sort of stick, but how much you value yourself absolutely is related to how much others value you and also how much you receive. So let's see what the message is, if it's more like a higher level esoteric thing, or if it's more about something tangible and physical. Your wealth message this month is to follow your heart. We have the Stars card. And so for this, I'm really looking at especially those of you that are either like in entertainment, I would say politics, or anything where you're kind of like putting yourself out there, trying to make a change or trying to do something bold. Typically the Star card is, or in this case the Stars, it comes through when you're being pushed, encouraged, and also sort of supported to be your true self, to integrate, to show people your true colors. And I mentioned that for some of you, it would be important to be transparent. When we're looking at wealth and money, are you doing what you truly desire? Are you doing something that makes you feel happy and satisfied and proud at the end of the day? Or are you just sort of doing something because either you haven't had a chance to look for new work, or because it's what people expect you to do, etc.? This is your chance to really sit in your power, to try something that's important, and to be the person you've always wanted to be, okay? Let's look at love. Love is not just about romantic relationships, it's how to incorporate love throughout all of your relationships in your life. Let's see what the message is for you. So there may be for many of you this theme of needing to protect yourself or others. And it's interesting that we have themes of reincarnation or rebirth or moving through things, and Anubis is definitely attached to all of those things. But for those of you looking for how to move through love, I would say, first of all, make sure that you feel safe, and don't necessarily hold back on something just to protect someone. We talked about transparency and revealing the truth, moving through feelings of sadness or frustration. You have to bring those to the light of day. That's going to allow for a rebirth in the love relationships. And a lot of times, the way you saw someone or the way you felt about someone, it's time for that to change. And I really think that that's what this month is opening up for you, is a chance to look at things from a new perspective, a new lens, and to decide after you have that information what you want to do. There's no pressure initially, other than to, again, kind of let your true colors come through. Once you do that, then a transformation is possible, and then that transformation allows for you to make a very fair decision about what's important to you and to that person. Let's look at the big card here, which is your outcome. And when I'm looking at destiny, I like to remind people that this is a GPS. There's a lot of free will associated with this, which is great. So if you like what you see, awesome, you can stay on the same path. If you don't, then this is empowering you to make some life changes to allow for a shift. Okay, and we have Persephone, and it's all about cycles. For those mythology buffs out there, you know that Persephone is kind of a trigger for seasons. She doesn't create the seasons herself, but her absence is what creates them. And so it's very appropriate here that we have cycles here. So I also get the sense that for some of you, you might be moving into like a different season of your life. There might be something like 3 to 6 months associated with this shift in cycle or shift in season for you. So what she's reminding you is that you've always had the power to make the changes that you want, to either be happier or to release whatever pattern is in your life that is no longer satisfactory for many of you. This month, you have a choice. You can either stick with this, and you may end up in it for another 3 to 6 months, or you can walk through that door that I saw in my meditation. And this isn't a door that closes. I see it more sort of like a revolving one, but it takes a long time for you to go through it. So if it's open right now, go through it and take this chance, because why wait if you have this opportunity to affect positive change and a shift in your life and to feel this sense of balance? And that's really what Persephone wants you to do, or what this card is sort of coming through this month, okay? Let's quickly review everything that we talked about today, beginning with the channeled information. As I said, this is a chance for you to tie up loose ends. I literally kind of saw that rope kind of getting tied, or you sort of taking something that was unfinished and finishing it. Then I saw a door opening. So allowing yourself to be freed from any shackles that you've created will allow for new growth and new opportunities over the course of this month, I should say. For many of you, this is going to be a month of self-discovery. It doesn't have to be as literal as picking up a book and learning something or going to a class. It's self-discovery, learning what is important to you, what you want to do next. And as we just talked about Persephone there, what is the next season of your life? What is the next big thing? Are you going through a winter phase now and looking forward to spring? What's the new growth? What are you going to put your energy into? And if that's the case, that's going to help frame up what's important for you. As we review the cards, their placements and their meanings here, at the center, we have a cautionary card here with the King of Pentacles in reverse. If there's either a person in your life who is needing a lot, or you need a lot of energy and development, make sure that you're trying to create boundaries in either situation. If it's a person in your life, say no occasionally. Make sure that you're not giving too much. If it's yourself, then you want to really focus on getting everything balanced before you put any of that on other people. A reminder that many of you have done a lot of work on yourself, and if there's anything going on in a work arena, I feel like you actually are very qualified for whatever is coming your way. But what's important is, if I ever saw cards that were begging for a vacation, it's these 3 cards here. So we have 10 of Swords, 4 of Swords, and 3 of Swords. 4 of Swords is your solution. Take some downtime, rest, recuperate. Then you can avoid any sort of sickness, and you can also avoid unnecessary sort of arguments that might pop up. Really what's important for you is to be clear in your thoughts, and if you're sort of exhausted, it's going to be hard to do that. Again, I also see like a lot of court cards, a lot of personalities this month, so remembering that everybody needs to have a voice at the table, and not letting anyone sort of step on other people. So you may be playing the role of mediator, and that's why you have the King of Wands over all of these sort of tricky cards here in the center. The good news is everything really picks up as we look at the right-hand side, which is where the core of the action is happening. Stay firm on what's important to you. Don't get pushed around by others. Be transparent. Try also, for those of you that are in a position of power, whether you're a parent, a manager, a grandmother, whatever, try not to feel like you have to micromanage. Trust people. Trust goes a lot further than fear or doubt. Looking at the environment, really there's encouragement here. Things can work out. You have to start to believe in yourself, you have to start to believe in others, and you have to start to dream about the possibilities again. Once you do that, you get this sense of empowerment, you start to get more productive, you start to manifest. Also, ultimately, this month brings this sense of feeling balanced. For some of you, there might be separation, divorce, or somehow removing yourself from a situation. So you could also be quitting or moving away from an old house or a toxic situation that just doesn't work anymore for you. Whatever that shift is, it's really positive towards the end though. So stick with it. Looking at health, it's a month for starting something new. For some of you, it might be actually fixing something that isn't working in your body. We talked about that. When it comes to wealth, following your heart's desire and truly being yourself, not holding back. When you work your passion, things are almost limitless. When you're not feeling it, it's hard to be motivated. That's when things start to get difficult, get tricky. Looking at love. We have a lot of themes this month of moving through and transforming. I think you're going to see the most intimate relationships in your life through a different lens this month, and that's really what we see with protection. Someone may have been protecting and holding back a little bit. You might have been doing the same. Either way, it feels like things come out this month, so try to do so in a way that doesn't involve arguing. Whenever I see cards like the Three of Swords and the Ten of Swords, it doesn't mean that you have to actually go through and realize the full energy of the card. So I want you to find a way to neutralize that. So again, mediation, rest, relaxation, and allowing for clarity of mind. All of this will help keep you balanced and allow you to balance others and act justly. Your outcome card is great. This is showing the opportunity to begin again, to renew. I really see this as there's a lot of fiery energy, so this has to be either spring or summer to me. So that's sort of your time indicator, depending on which part of the globe you're living in, for the next season of change for you. So for some of you, this could be almost a year from now. For some of you, it could actually just be 3 months from now. So know that I see a prosperous and a better period on the horizon for you. One thing that I'm not seeing a lot of this month, except at the center, is money. We have that King of Pentacles, but it's reversed. So I want you to be careful with spending and also not overdoing things, because King of Pentacles reversed can sometimes overspend, overeat, overindulge. So take care of yourself and don't do too much of anything. Moderation is key. That brings this month to a close. I hope it gave you the insight, the courage, and the feeling of, to use one of the cards here, enlightenment, so you know what to do for the days and weeks ahead. But if you ever feel like you want to talk a little bit more about something that I covered here, or more personally, something going on in your life, I'm more than happy to make some time for you. A way that you can schedule an appointment with me is simply to follow the first link below the video, and you can look at rates and availability there. At the beginning, I talked about this is a viewer-supported channel. So if you like what you see here and you'd like to give back, $1 is all I ask, and I think it can make a big difference in freeing me up. I'd like to do some of the reviews and some of the developmental videos, but I have to work a lot. I have to see a lot of clients. So if I get more donations, I can do more videos. So if you like what you see, ultimately you'll get a lot more, but you'll at least get the 12 videos, and for $1, that's not bad. So think about it, and either way, I appreciate the time that you've spent here. Another way that you can just support this is to like, subscribe, and share this video. You can share it on Facebook. You can also send it to a friend. So know that that's just as valuable to me. If you'd like to stay connected, which I hope you do, please join me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my newsletter, also subscribing to this channel. All those links are in the third link below the video, and you can go to my website and join me on everything that I just mentioned. Finally, I like to bookend each video. I start at the beginning with gratitude, I end with gratitude, but a little bit different. At the end, I really like to encourage everyone to keep making a difference. I don't know when I figured this out, but I think it was a couple years ago. I understood that my purpose was to teach, to inspire, to raise consciousness. And that's why I'm doing this every month. I show up. It's a lot of work, but I've seen so much positive shifting just over the past 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this, or I guess closer to 5 years. So I'm really happy to see all of you getting excited about your intuitive development, your emotional maturity, your ability to open up your heart and to help others. So keep doing that. That makes this planet so much better, and it also makes us all happier. This month, the key theme for you really seems to be balance. Don't be afraid to do what's right for you, and to really focus on fulfillment. Don't hold back either. There's so many cards here of renewal that I think that if you embrace what we talked about today, that you're gonna come through this next season, whatever it is for you, feeling like a brand new person. and that excites me, and I can't wait to sort of see what comes to fruition through that period for you. So keep me posted. Wishing you much love and light. Thank you so much for spending time here and allowing me to help you as well. See you soon.